Good morning and welcome back to the VictoriousWool podcast. I'm Victoria. I talk about knitting, knit design, and making things. I live in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. And I'm recording today with my AirPods in because I want to see if I can get better audio. Which is just a little weird to have my own hearing because I can't hear my own voice the same, so it's a little odd. So if you've been watching my podcast for a while, please let me know if you can tell any difference between what I've recorded in the past and what I'm recording today. Last week I also tried to upload the video with a higher quality to YouTube, and I can't tell the difference. It looks the same to me, so it's frustrating. I'm using like a pretty new phone, and when I look back at the footage on the phone, it looks great, and then when I upload it to video, it gets pixelated and stuff. And so there's only so much I can do with the equipment I have, but also there's only so much I can do with uploads because I have to go to the library to upload my videos, and it takes, with a higher quality, it takes a really long time. It's like an hour. If I was to upload it at my house, it would take like 24 hours and it would probably fail. So anyways, that's just like the tech stuff, trying to get things to be a little bit better. But today I want to show you my Widen shawl that came out with Brooklyn Tweed, and I have not pulled it out. I just pulled it out of the paper. I just received it back from the company, and it's the first time you will ever have seen it on here. I made it last year, finished it in September, and mailed it to them, and they took it on tour for their summer release. It smells really good. I have put it on before, but it's been a really long time. It's really big, and it's so fun. It's such a nice squishy yarn. This is Arbor, their DK worsted weight, and it's got the zigzag, the slip stitch rib, and then it has these garter ridges, and you just repeat those 3 patterns over and over as the shawl gets smaller. I believe I started with it's been a while since I made it, since I looked at the pattern even. I believe I started with the biggest edge and got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And some people have knit this in really beautiful colors. Ding. Yeah, this little corner is really fun. Yeah, so you never get bored. It's always changing every couple inches, but each of those changes, each of those stitch patterns are really, really easy to memorize. I think the thing that surprised me about this pattern the most was the fact that when you lay it flat to block, I put it on this big dining room table, and then I had to walk around it a bunch to pin it and stuff, and spraying it with water. And as I moved around the table, the way that the zigzags has that, it's hard to describe. It didn't look like a mirage, but like the effect of the light on the stitches of the zigzag changed the effect a lot. And yeah, so if you make it, you can look forward to looking at it. It's hard to capture that on camera, but I was really surprised. I did not expect to kind of have it look different from different angles. So yes, and it's big. So big. It's so fun. And it has this sort of right angle. Or some yarn falling on me. It has a right angle. You start and one side stays consistent, as these shawls are so hard to show on a camera like this, but whoop. But yeah, I'm so happy to have it in their summer collection, and I'm looking forward to wearing it. It's kind of a good day for it today. We've had a big heat wave last week for about 6 days we had above 90 degrees, and in the Puget Sound, Pacific Northwest where I live, that's really unusual. And wasn't so bad for me. Some people have a really hard time with the heat, and it does get really hot in here, but it's now a little cloudy. We have cold air coming in from the ocean again, and so we are back to like 70, high, low 80s. But yeah, I look forward to, even when it gets a little colder, early fall, this will be even more suitable. So I do like wearing them like this when I'm at home and not, walking around or doing anything. This is my favorite way to feel just cozy. The other really exciting thing I have to show you is this blue Lopi shawl that I've been working on, I would say mostly for the last week, although I did start it officially at the beginning of July, and then I didn't really do anything. I would say it took me most of July to just get the first 4 inches done, but now I'm almost done, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited that it went so quick, that it was barely like any effort to keep going, and that it looks so good. And this color, this Fjord Blue from Istex, this is Lettlopi, just looks so good. It's such a good color to work with. It was very soothing, and also it wasn't like a neutral, and I've been working with a lot of neutrals, so it's so nice. And it gave me, because I'm working on such a big needle size, it gave me the edge is like really stretchy and flexible, and I'm really going to be able to block this sucker out, which I'm really excited about. Tidy edges make me very happy. And some shawls, the edges get really rigid, but usually on the top, if you do like a garter tab cast on the top edge, can be like really solid. It doesn't have a lot of give to it. This is so much stretch, and I think it's because I'm using a size 10, and that this yarn is got a lot of like air in it, so it can really expand, and it's going to block even bigger than it is. I calculated I wanted the wingspan to be about 6 feet, which is my actual hand wingspan, because that to me is like the perfect amount to wrap around your neck once and have long enough tails that it's not trying to fall off your shoulders, which is there's like a few things about shawls that I'm really kind of particular about, making sure that that happens, that you have something that stays on. And then this big juicy cable is just really great. Looks really good. And it's very fun to knit. Yeah, it happened really fast. Like, I think I knit most of it in a week. I had maybe 4 inches last Tuesday, and then bam, now I have like almost 15. And I'm probably gonna finish it today. So I want to make sure I could come on a podcast and actually show it to you in progress, because otherwise it'd just be this long snaky thing, and then it would be done, totally done. And the cool thing, added bonus, is that I want to make another. So I rarely ever am knitting a sample of something, like trying to get it done, and also feel like I could knit another one of these. Like, it was really enjoyable, and I didn't make any mistakes. Like, I don't even think I dropped no drop stitches. I didn't get confused about where I was. I didn't I didn't get lost, forget. Everything just went really, really well. And I want to make another. I think I have a lot of Lopi in my stash, and I have a lot of neutral Lopi. So once I know how many skeins it actually is going to be, then I can look at my stash and maybe make a neutral colored one. This sort of fun. Still probably not gray. I'm not over the gray thing yet, because I made that big, really dark gray, black Lopi cardigan that I showed last time, and I just can't do any more gray for a little while. I need some color. So anyways, I'm really excited about this. I am hoping, because I'm going to finish today, I will work this week on finalizing the instructions, and then I gotta like format, and then I gotta tech edit, and then photos, and then test. So it's like August 2nd right now, and I think I could probably get maybe into testing like early September, mid-September. So I'll probably try to run the test until maybe end of October, and then launch it November 1st. It's hard to be so excited about something and like want to share it with you right away, and then be like, oh right, I've got to go through this whole process, collaborate with other people, and before it's actually out. Plus, I may have wanted to work on Lopi in July, but I'm sure no one else wants to. Me and Melody Hoffman from Bee Mandarines, she is working on definitely some Lopi stuff right now. But it just really, I don't know, it just isn't really itchy anymore. I don't know what happened to me. I just slowly got used to more rustic wools, and because it's such an open gauge, it's gonna block and be even more drapey than it is. And so I'm probably gonna wear it like this most of the time. But yeah, we'll see if I can handle it around my neck. I'm thinking it's gonna be fine. But if you love the design and you think it's really nice and you want to make it, you don't have to make it with Lopi. There are a lot of other beautiful, beautiful yarns that would be nice, and there's some more rustic farmy yarns that would also be great for a design like this. So I just wanted to do it with Lopi because I have so much of it. I love it so much. It's so fun to work with. It's very affordable, and just makes me so happy. I think I've definitely said to my knitting friends, but maybe not on here, that if I had to pick one yarn or one breed, let's say that, one breed of wool, that a desert island situation, if you could only bring one breed of wool with you, it would be Iztex. It would be all the Lopi yarns, Pluto Lopi and Alphas Lopi and Lettlopi. I haven't used Einband, which is the lace weight version of their Icelandic wool, but that would be my choice. I don't know, I just really love it. Brooklyn Tweed is a close second. I love Brooklyn Tweed yarns, but oh man, I just really love Lopi so much. It's a little embarrassing actually, because it's just so not the norm. A lot of people just really like soft yarns, and it is to me, it is soft. So the other thing, I've been knitting a lot lately, which on a knitting podcast you would expect to be totally normal, but I've been going through some dry spells of not feeling excited about my stuff, and that's been a bit of a drag, and I've been just using my creative time for other creative things. But the last week I knit a lot, so just gotta roll with it now and like keep doing more to keep myself knitting. This is a farmy yarn. This is Rambouillet from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This is Pishkun, which is a light worsted DK yarn. This is Easy V by Caitlin Hunter. Had it on here for a few weeks now, and I've split for the sleeves. I don't think last podcast episode I had yet. So in the last week, I finished the yoke, got this last little bit done, and then I did a little bit of the body, and then I wasn't that I was bored of the body, I just thought, it'd be nice to just do with the last, was the last 2 sweaters? I don't think just with the last 2, or last one, the Lopi one, because I knit this big heavy worsted or Rasta Malabrigo, which I did the sleeves at the end, but with the Lopi, black Lopi, I knit the sleeves first of that sweater, and that's sort of like, it was a different experience to not do the body and then do the sleeves, but to do the sleeves first. And so because I was just, wanting to try that out again and do something different, I knit about, I don't know, this is like maybe 3 inches of body, and then I picked up one of the sleeves, and I disconnected the yarn from the body, because that would mean, if I hadn't done that, that would mean that as I'm turning the sleeve to knit it, I would also be turning the ball connected to the body, and that just gets a tangled mess. And because this is a like very 100% wool yarn, I can splice the ball back on to this thread later when I pick the body back up. And then of course I have these little guys to keep the stitches on the body totally secure, so I'm not worried about that at all. And then I can just knit the sleeve round and round and round. So I have to knit like, I think maybe like 6 more inches before I get to the color work on the sleeve. So I think that'll just make it fun to do a sleeve, maybe go back to the body, maybe do the other sleeve, and then go back to the body. But yeah, it fits great. I haven't actually tried it on, but I can tell it's like wrapping around the exact center of my rib cage. And so I think it's either going to be a sweater with no ease, or it's just going to have a little bit of ease, which is perfect. Her intention of ease for this sweater was more of a boxy sweatshirt fit. And I had a different gauge, and it's going to be more fitted, which is perfect for me. Since I have a lot of boxy fit sweaters already, I don't have actually a lot of fitted sweaters or close to fitted sweaters. So I appreciate having it a little bit different. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's a project because of this yarn. The way it feels, I can watch TV and not look down, and I'm not doing it to like, I'm gonna try to not look. I'm like not looking. I'm watching and still able to just go. So I was really surprised by that. Like, it's happening by itself. So that's pretty cool, actually. This sweater is so heavy. I picked up the Lopi sweater I made. I picked up the Flam sweater I made, and then this one kind of all back to back to put them away, to fold them up and put them in the plastic. And this is the last. I picked this one up and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to weigh this and see. It weighs so much. Merino is so heavy. So when I recorded last time, I still had a sleeve and a half, and I totally finished that like 2 weeks ago. So I bet you if I held it up, if I held it up with my arms like this for like 2 minutes, I'd probably start to hurt. It would be an arm strengthener. I'm guessing it weighs like at least 3 pounds, if not more. Anyways, I think I have a little clip of it, me wearing it, on Instagram, and I'll do more in the fall. Last week, as I said, was at least 90 degrees every day. So I totally was like, all right, you're going away. It's too hot for you. So it'll be ready for me when the weather turns. And I have to like figure out how to fold it to get it back in the bag so it fits. Anyways, I'm really happy with it. It is gonna be really nice on cold mornings. And it's nice that I also made it a little bit, like I had the short rows so the back is longer and the arms are not super fitted. So like wearing it, even though it's bulky, it doesn't feel cumbersome because it's nice and roomy. And that's a good thing. I think mentioned last time that I bought yarn for a solid EZV, and I just didn't have the yarn with me. So this is the yarn I got. It's Magpie Fibers Nest Worsted, which is a non-superwash Corriedale wool. This is Bougie Beaver, which is just this, like, as one friend has coined it, adult pink. Like a little bit of rose. Here it is knit up. It's just really pretty. Has a nice variation to it, and I think once I finish, I swatched. I know the needle sizes and the pattern size I'm going to do. I'm just sort of waiting for a moment when I need some kind of knitting pick-me-up. So maybe in the early fall I'll start that. Let's see. I did get a lot of yarns in the last week from the Farmer's Daughter Fiber. I have been sort of mood boarding on Pinterest, like a darker green with a pink, and looking at yarn combinations, and looking at what I had in my stash, because I have pink and green yarns in my stash, and do they work and together, and are they the same weight, and do I have enough of them, that kind of thing. And I had a couple of skeins of Dumpling on Moon Sisters, which is their fingering weight base that has stellina in it, and stellina and merino and nylon, and it's a really pretty base. And so I got some Holy Matrimony to go with it. And I'm curious if you've noticed these colors out in like the online world. I feel like with colors that all of a sudden I get really into, I feel like it's because it's been like not trending quite yet, but like undercurrenting. Like I've seen them a bunch of places, and all of a sudden I become aware of them, and I'm like, oh, and I see it everywhere. So I feel like these two, when I went to make the Pinterest board, there were literally color gradients with green on one end and pink on the other. There were a bunch of them. And I thought, oh yeah, like, of course I'm not the first person to come up with this combo, but yeah, like pale pinks and dark greens. It can also be like a more of a tealy green with a pale pink. That's also really pretty. And I just decided I'd really love to do some sort of brioche thing with these. And then I thought, why don't I like add in a couple more colors? So I got Many Moons, which is a really pretty off-white, also in Moon Sisters. And then why not also add in a brown? This is Lazy Moose, which is a color I had kind of seen on Instagram and had wanted to get. So these four together will be something, and hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, these are really nice. I accidentally ordered the wrong base from Farmer's Daughter, so I also now have Holy Matrimony and Many Moons in Foxy Lady, which is their merino and silk blend. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I have any other skeins of Foxy Lady. I might not. I have very little experience working with silk, so anyways. They're like, some of these colors are like vaguely Christmassy, but not outright. It's because of the Holy Matrimony is like almost a total perfect Christmas green. But yeah, these are nice. So I have like 800 yards plus of each color that I could do something with at some point. And yeah, this is the swatch that I originally started with for my Lopi shawl. This would have been the gray that I was like originally intending, and I had a different stitch pattern on the side, and then I know I've shown these before. It's just interesting to see like the evolution of where I started from, something like this, and then I ended up, you know, trying it out with stockinette on the side, and ultimately felt like garter made a really smooth transition into the cable. So yeah. And the shape, as you probably saw, is going to be like this. I know I've shown this before too. It'll be because you start out with the longest edge and then you decrease on either side, you can make a long wingspan with a short depth. And I know I've gone on and on about that over the years too, of like wanting a shawl that's long enough to wrap around so it stays on, but also not like so deep that it's basically, I don't know, some sort of weird cape bib thing. And yeah, like when I wrap this one around, like the depth is so long, it's almost like you got to do something else with it, how you wear it and stuff to I don't know, maybe having it a really drapey in the front is totally your style. But I'm always like dealing with the folds when I'm like out and about in the world. There are a couple things I'm doing this month to try to be more focused on my work, interested in my work, and feeling less discouraged or frustrated. And I want to be more present with each day. So I have a friend who I started talking to about this. And so I kind of started texting her at the end of the day saying like, how was your July 31st? Like, how was your August 1st? So that we can stay really present in what day it is. Because so much of the time, especially towards the end of the month, once I get past like the 21st of a month, I really just rush through days. I don't know what day it is. I don't know. It feels like it's over already. And so the last 10 days or 10 to 11 days can kind of get just like all thrown in together like it's over already. And I was like, no, I really want to appreciate or just be like aware of what's happening every day and what that particular day is bringing to me, and what's August 1st like, and how does it feel? What did I do today? Just sort of more present, so I don't feel like I'm just lost. I've lost days or weeks. Or I had somebody say to me, oh, summer's almost over, and it was like the third week of July. I'm like, is it really? Because we have like weeks left, and every one of those days can be like appreciated, and you can have like do summer things every one of those days and feel like you really had a summer, as opposed to rushing through and not noticing. And so I'm doing that by waking up every morning and wanting one of the first things I think about to be, what do I want to make today? And that's something I think before I go to sleep. What did I make today that I liked? And it could be knitting stuff. It could be cooking. It could be having good conversation with someone. It could be like walking. Like I'm thinking of making and is more of participating in things. Specifically, I want to be making knitting stuff that I'm happy with and excited about. but I'm also like extending it to like what happened today that I liked. There's a quote in my planner. I use the Get to Workbook, which I put stickers all on the top of so you can't see the label anymore. But the prompt for, she's got like these little art prompts at the beginning of every month, and the one for August is less consuming, more creating. And I've also wanted to sort of like put that into practice and consume less and create more. So those are the things I'm thinking about. I would love to hear about if you, maybe August is just like super intense and there's a lot going on, getting ready to go back to school, get your kids back to school or something. But if there's something you're hoping to instill in your everyday. And I definitely do very, very few goals per month. Sometimes I don't even have time to set them, but if I do, I try to be really careful that I'm not adding on too much. I'm not being overly ambitious, because I probably won't get that done anyway and I'll feel bad. So I usually generally choose things that I know that I can do, and I don't choose very many, just in the case that things change and shift. And I edit my goals throughout the month as things change and as I'm like, oh, that's not how I'm feeling anymore, as opposed to like starting from the beginning and not making it really rigid. And yeah. So anyways, let me know if you have anything you want to share in the comments below. You can find this pattern on Brooklyn Tweed's website, brooklyntweed.com, and you can also buy it from them on Ravelry, because they're the ones distributing it. And you can make it in Arbor, you can make it in any lightweight woolly DK yarn would be good. It'd also probably anything with good stitch definition, really. You want to be able to see those. Yeah, maybe wouldn't be so great with Lopi. It's better with a yarn like this. But yeah, I love to see it. Make sure if you share stuff on Instagram that you tag it with my VictoriousWool, so I can go and see. I love to see what you're doing. But yeah, have a lovely August, and hopefully I'll be back in a couple weeks. Bye.